distinguished representative of Minister Jamel Eddin Garbi, Minister of Planning and Regional Development, Excellency Ali Abu Sabah, Vice President of ADB, Mrs. Ayodele Odusola, Special Advisor, Regional Bureau for Africa, Mrs. Aida Opoku Mensah, Special Advisor to the Executive Secretary of UNECA, Honorable representative of our various partners, ladies and gentlemen, let me first of all, on behalf of the chairperson of African Union Commission, Her Excellency Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, welcome you all to this important continental meeting on the post-2015 development agenda. She has asked me to convey to you her warm greetings and best wishes, and also to register her sincere regrets for her inability to come in person owing to other official exigencies. The chairperson, and indeed the African Union as a whole, highly values his process, which is in line with his development agenda for our continent. At the outset, I wish to thank the government and people of the Republic of Tunisia, our host, and of course, the African Development Bank for the hospitality and courtesy extended to the delegation of the African Union Commission since our arrival in these friendly, beautiful cities of Hammamet. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, with only 3 years remaining until 2015 target date for reaching the Millennium Development Goals, Africa's progress towards the various targets of the MDGs continues to be mixed. It is gratifying, however, to note that significant advances have been made in some indicators, such as net primary enrollment, gender parity in primary education, representation of women in decision-making, immunization coverage, stemming the spread of HIV/AIDS, and water supply. We are, however, concerned with the quality of education, as well as the pace and progress towards health-related MDG targets, such as child and maternity mortality, and access to sanitation. Reducing inequity in access to basic social service also remains a critical challenge for Africa. These inequities explain, in large measure, the continent's slow progress in attaining the health MDGs. The time span left until 2015 for the African continent to achieve the MDGs is fast approaching, and there is still no clarity within the development community about the fate of the MDGs post-2015. Should the MDGs continue in their current form with simply an extension of the target years? This is one of the questions we have to ask each other. Should the goals and the indicators be substantially revised to reflect changing development priorities and the performance on the MDGs by a number of developed and developing countries? Or is it time to do away altogether with the goals and replace them with an entirely new agenda that focuses not only on social development, but also on the productive sector and the enablers of MDGs outcomes, such as issues of security, political inclusion, and good governance, as well as capacity building, the ownership of our economic, infrastructural, mineral, agricultural, and industrial development in order to accelerate our integration process, which is the heart of all endeavor for the African development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the international development community evaluates the contribution of MDGs and begins to define a post-2015 global development framework, Africa has already embarked on the process to articulate its common position. Accordingly, with the mandate given by the AU Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the African Union Commission, in collaboration with the African Development Bank, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, and the United Nations Development Programme Regional Bureau for Africa of UNDP, is in advanced stage of consulting with AU members states on the post-2000 development agenda. The member states are invited to deeply involved and own the process, because in our view and from the beginning, the member states are the heart of what we are all called to come today and to reflect on and consult on. So the member states are invited to deeply involve themselves and own the process. Some of the issues that were identified as the critical enablers of development during our consultation were institutional capacity development, domestic resource mobilization, participation and ownership of the community national and global levels, social inclusiveness and equality, governance and leadership, peace and security, regional integration and trade, infrastructural development, and global cooperation and development. In addition to the enablers, we reached a consensus that the post-2015 development agenda be led by economic growth and assessed by indicators of performance in the area of economic transformation and inclusive growth, education, technology, and human development. The Africa process that provides for regional and continental engagement has ensured broad participation and contribution of all stakeholders in identifying Africa's priorities for the post-2015 development agenda. In so doing, one should not lose sight of, among others, aligning the post-2015 priorities with other development programs and agendas, as well as allocating roles and responsibilities to all stakeholders in order to promote adequate ownership at all required fields for a successful achievement for the post-2015 goals. This continental meeting is the final consultation process to identify and compile African priorities in all sectors. The outcome of the consultation will culminate in an African common position to be presented at the 6th Conference of the African Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, scheduled to take place in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, on 25th and 26th of this month. to be, and subsequently to be considered and adopted at the 21st Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the Head of State and Government of the African Union in May 2013. That means this year. The African Union will be presenting the common position to inform the discussion during the 68th United Nations General Assembly in September this year. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me reaffirm Africa's commitment to our collective effort to identify the key priority areas that need focus in this regard. The African Union considers this exercise as one of its key undertakings in the context of marking the 50th anniversary of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, scheduled to be commemorated in May 2013. The celebration will provide the opportunity to look at Africa's achievement, registered and challenged faced in the last 50 years, where the continent is currently where it should be in 50 years' time, and what it will take to get there. Through that will be known as an African-wide Development Plan 2063, currently under elaboration at the AU Commission level. This will certainly be a good opportunity for all stakeholders to reflect on Africa's priorities on the post-2015 development agenda. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, honorable participants, let me express here the sincere hope of the African Union Commission for fruitful outcomes of our deliberation in our endeavor for a developed and prosperous continent. I thank you for your kind attention.